Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest edition of Team Johnson Outdoors. In today's episode, Pup takes his old camper and revamps it into a hunting lodge, so stay tuned.
So today is the day that I'm actually going to start working on this camper and make it more into like a bunkhouse for when we go duck hunting. I think we bought this trailer 5-6 years ago for like a couple $1,000s. The hot water heater doesn't work. Some other issues with it. So we kind of decided that we weren't going to use it for camping anymore. And I got the go ahead from my lovely wife to do whatever I want with it. So I'm going to rip some stuff out, make some more like hanging areas, maybe build some bunk beds, maybe not, maybe buy some bunk beds instead. Whatever's easier for me, or whatever makes more sense, I guess. It's going to be probably a month project. It's September 1st tomorrow. But anyway, we're going to go to Thief Lake middle of October. So I want to get this thing worked on. One other thing I want to do is make it so there's enough room for me and my daughter, my brother and his two boys, my dad, another couple buddies of my brother's, and maybe my daughter's boyfriend. Anyway, so I'm looking to maybe make it into 8 to 10 people bunk area. The least amount of vehicles that we can bring up there is more cost efficient for all of us. So we really don't want to have too many campers if we don't need to, but I want to make enough room for people to sleep, hang some stuff, and just a dry area. I mean, we don't really spend much time in the camper anyway. We're either out hunting, we're either outside by the fire, cooking over the fire. So it's basically just need this thing for somewhere to sleep. But anyway, I'm gonna kind of show you the process as I go, so stick around. This trailer is like a 27-foot trailer. It works great. I can tow my little duck boat behind it. Speaking of duck boats, so the one on the right is the little one. I can actually tow the big one behind it too, but that's the one I'm going to bring to Thief Lake, is the small one. Anyway, I can tow it. In Minnesota, you can really only tow trailers if you have a fifth wheel. And I have the hitch, and I have the light wires. Camper, duck boat, one vehicle. It kind of eliminates bringing too many vehicles up there. So my plan is to get rid of all this cupboard area. Get rid of all the cupboards, keep the microwave, keep the stove, keep the refrigerator. That stuff we'll use. Get rid of some of this cupboard space. The hot water heater that does not work is down below here. I'm gonna pull all that stuff out, pull this all out for more space. Whether that's how I make my bunk beds come out, or some spots for hanging jackets and stuff. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the couch yet, but this area here is kind of where I'm thinking about making some bunk beds. Maybe some more clothes hanging areas. That's gonna be the plan here. The old camper turning into more of a hunting camper. So anyway, let's get busy. I'm gonna go out and cut the power out of this thing, and then I'm gonna tape it up or cap it. But I'm gonna try to keep the wiring and maybe hang this light up here again. So Anyway, I'm gonna go cut the power. So I dug into that little cupboard here and pulled some stuff out, and I kind of knew starting this thing that this corner was gonna be a problem, an issue, and it's pretty rotten in here. I mean, I can just take my finger and just kind of, I mean, this is all supposed to be like particle board. So anyway, I'm gonna have to decide or figure out how I'm gonna frame this corner. And really, to tell you the truth, this thing's a 94, and I mean, I don't know how much I want to really get into doing it the right way. Maybe what I want to do is just maybe like put a band-aid on it. You know what I mean? Just kind of just cover it up, use it this year, and then kind of get more in depth on it next year. And P.S. I should probably be wearing safety glasses and some gloves and maybe a mask. So I'm gonna take a break a little bit and go get some of those items and come back. Luke, I'm your father. It's not the demo I have a problem with. That I'm pretty good at. It's going to be the building. That I didn't know was there. Some more rotten wood. You ever start a project and kind of thought, I'm overwhelmed a little bit? Well, we're getting that way. Some of this stuff looks like it got screwed from the outside in, and then they put the metal sheeting on. So now I'm starting to think I'm going to leave some of this stuff and maybe just kind of go over it and hide it. Losing 2 inches or 3 inches of space just by covering some stuff up. That's kind of what I'm thinking so far. Working on this piece. I might just take my radial arm saw and just kind of cut along the edge there. And like I said, just leave this stuff here and then just kind of build around it. It's about noon. I've been probably in here for probably 3 hours just tearing stuff apart. So I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Maybe try to clean some of this stuff up a little bit and see what else I got going on today. This little guy's probably wondering what's going on. So I got everything cleaned up in here a little bit. I'm gonna shower and take the rest of the day off and think about some things. And we will see you guys again tomorrow for day 2. All right, I took a shower, recharged my mental batteries, and I'm sitting inside the house doing some other things, and I'm like, God, I got this stupid thing on my mind. I gotta get back out there and work on it. I wanted to be done for the day, but I just can't let it go. So anyway, I'm back at it. Still day 1 of this project. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing, but it's going to be something. I'm thinking about using this saw to cut this countertop, but I'd almost have to cut it left-handed to get it close to, as I want. So maybe if I come back this way, I don't know. One thing I think I am going to do though is I'm going to try to save as much of this countertop as I can, just because I got some tubing down here, so I don't want to really get into that. And I still want a little bit of countertop to work with the stove, so I'm probably going to draw a line and use this to cut that. This one, I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe just use my regular hand saw. I feel like what I need is a sawzall, but I'm going to use this to start. The hot water heater is out of here, and I took out some of the plumbing down there. One thing I did do, even though I don't have any power hooked up outside or any batteries, I still turned the main breaker off before I cut the wires to pull that thing out of here. I'm going to clean this up here in a second. What I'll show you is the problem with this water heater. The previous owners, when they winterized it, they didn't drain all the hot water out of here, or all the water out, and it cracked and it busted and it leaked all over the floor and whatever. And so anyway, we don't use the hot water for duck hunting. If we need any hot water, we'll just boil it. So anyway, that's why I pulled this thing out of here. I cut my countertop, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to try to use this, a little bit of it, for prep. I'm going to clean the rest of this off. Depending on how far I make my fake wall, I'm going to pull the shower out. And a couple of these other things need to come out too, but I'm going to pull that stuff out and just kind of clean this up a little bit. Got some of that stuff cleaned up. I went out and put my hot water vent cover back on just to fill up that hole. I think this time I am really done for the day. So anyway, I think I got a lot done. You know, I took those cabinets off, got the hot water heater out, cut a little bit of this countertop. That's it for day one. This time for real. So I think this will be my cooking station. Plenty of countertop space this way. And I can get in here plenty this way if I need to. I'm just going to have to get a tape measure and measure and kind of come up with some more finalized details on what I actually want to do over here. But it's coming along. So I just removed that corner. That used to be a TV stand. And now I need to do some thinking here. Because what I want to do is remove this part of the cupboard too. And maybe then just set the microwave down on the counter. So maybe I just take this piece off right here. And then leave the microwave where it's at. And leave this up here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to take this cupboard out. Success. I was even able to pretty much save this whole piece here. So it kind of almost looks like it's the way it's going to be. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to come in here. Like I said, I'm going to put some more, like maybe 1x2s or 2x2 come across here, support on this side. This side I'm probably still going to build some kind of a mini wall. Same thing. I'm just going to try to extend everything out so a lot of this stuff will get hidden behind the wall. All I got to really do is access the handles here. So maybe I just cut around my wall. It'd be kind of hard to explain, but in my mind, I think I have it kind of half figured out. I'm just going to end up putting some kind of little floor in here to cover all this up, except for the heater vent that I can probably put on top of it. So this white tube here, this is where the water would come in outside if you were filling it. So I just cut that off because we're not going to be using water in here anymore anyway. I'm going to stuff that down the hole. And like I said, cover this up with some more plywood. Throw some foam insulation in there. Maybe I'll even do that here too. Throw some foam insulation in. That spray foam. But it's coming along. I have now decided to cut this countertop flush with the stove. It'll gain another, whatever, 6 inches. Yeah, 6 inches. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but you never know. I mean, it might as well make it flush with the stove. I'm just going to leave this open. I'm just going to put down some legs here to keep it sturdy, but leave this open for storage. So today I opened up this area a little bit more, took care of some of this countertop stuff, and got rid of some of those floor braces for the cabinets. I think that's going to be it for me for today. I got other stuff I got to get done. And now I just need to kind of think about building the wall. So I'm going to take a break from working on this wall here, this corner, and I'm going to do the bunk beds here. After doing some careful calculations, I think I've come up with a plan. So what we're going to do right here is I'm going to build another bed, keep the couch as the bed, and then about 2 feet up, make the top bunk, which according to my calculations, I think it's going to be like 41 and a half, where it's going to be even here to here. That is the plan. And I got all the lumber out in my truck. So I put my legs about kind of where I want them. And now what I'm going to do is the top of the bunk is going to be flush with this. So now I just need to do some more measurements here on how far across I want the support beams to be. I just cut my length long board here. So I'm going to put that up against that side, and then this one here on this side. And that'll be the top, if that makes sense. So these long boards are 141 inches, almost 12 feet. To try to screw it by myself, it's going to be, the boards are just too long and too heavy to try to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut them in half and make a box for the top here, another box, and then connect them, another box here, and somehow connect that across. For doing this by myself, I think if I can make it into some smaller projects and then screw them together, it'll be easier for me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So far, so good. I'm making the box for that bunk. And what I did was I screwed my 2x4s together. And these are actually 2x3s. And those are going to go across as supports. And then the plywood, I'm going to cut that to 40 and a half inches. And that'll slide right in there. It'll give you a little bit of a rail, but it'll also hold that plywood in. And then what I'm probably going to do is take the plywood and screw some holes into these beams. I might even take some of my scrap and just put braces across. Boom, 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 so forth. But anyway, coming along pretty well. So I'm going to pre-drill some of these holes and then screw in with the screws. To me, it's just easier if I do it that way. And so I'm just going to do that to all these cross pieces here. So I'm using 3.5 inch screws. They're plenty long, but if somebody's sleeping on here, I'd rather have plenty of screw in there than not enough screw. So I'll just continue to do that all the way down. One down, 3 to go. So this one will connect onto this one and make that one full top bunk. Then I'll make another one for the bottom. So far, I'm pretty confident in my carpentry skills. I really haven't made a miscut yet. So all my calculations are coming to fruition. These are going to be all accounted for. These are going to be the cross brackets for the bottom bunk. And I still need to make the frame for the bottom. So it'll be pretty close. And then the plywood. So I'm going to cut that down. That will just sit right inside here. And with that plywood inside there, it's still going to be a little bit of extra. But by the time you put like a mat down or a air mattress, like one of those thermarest type things, it should be pretty flat or pretty level, even. Anyway, I'm going to get to work on these other 2 pieces, and I'll check in with you later. So here's where we are at. These are my legs. This is where the top bunk is going to sit. And I made these little brackets because that's will be the support. And the bottom bunk is going to sit here on these 4. I only need 4 of these because my bunk's only going to be halfway. I also had to kind of sink out some of these screws because they're so long. And this is actually going to be the side that's going to be facing out. So I don't want anybody to snag themselves on that. So I had backed those out. So anyway, that's where we're at. This is what it kind of looks like. I'm sorry I didn't kind of show how I put all this stuff together, but trust me, once I got going, I just didn't want to stop. So this is the full top. So 2 people will be up here. 1, 2. The bottom bunk. And then the couch. I just left it. The only thing I got to do now is just cut the plywood. And just kind of keep looking here. I'm thinking I want to throw some more screws in here. But it feels pretty sturdy. So far, so good. And if my calculations are correct, I should be able to fold this up and have room. Hey, look at that. Plywood is in on the top and on the bottom. I got this side all framed up for the most part. And I kind of learned a lot of lessons by doing this. So I'm kind of taking it out on this side. I'm just putting boards, or setting my boards in place now and making some marks. And I'm going to frame this outside. But the one thing I didn't do yesterday was frame the window part. So I actually had to cut this board, this one here, it kind of went straight all the way down. So I had to cut it so I had open access to the window. And then I had to throw this in, this little brace piece in there. So I'm kind of doing that with this side right now. And I'm almost done cutting all the lumber. Then we'll be screwing it into place. Got the frame made and put it all up here. I did screw into some of these other ones that were still left behind after tearing apart. Since they're 2 inches off the wall, worked out perfect. Light cord is going to fit. Socket's going to come out and fit. This is all going to get covered because I don't use that stuff anyway. I made a box the other day for where I put my power cord in from the outside. And this is that side there. The part that was all rotten. Also, what I plan on doing with some extra paneling is covering this up. I also put in some more stable boards behind here. I found some solid wood, not like this rotten stuff here. But this stuff is solid behind there. So I screwed a 2x4 into that. So I had something to screw my wall into. So that's pretty darn sturdy. Same here. Same kind of right here. Same there. Just something to screw. It's pretty darn sturdy. It's looking good. I kind of felt overwhelmed at first, but now that I have my walls up, it looks pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to put some more boards behind here, so this is more flush with the window. And the same here. But anyway, I think that looks pretty good. So this 2x4 is going to be in the way. It's just going to have to be, because I'm going to have my counter here, which I'm going to finish working on that too. But whatever, it is what it is. I can get to the window here. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. But you know what? At least it's a cuter pig. Anyway, I'm going to finish some things up here and then get to paneling. Window sills, if that's what you want to call them, are kind of made. Tomorrow, we are going to put some paneling up and get this stuff hopefully maybe wired. I've been only working on this when I get home, like around from 3 to 5:30, so I don't get burned out. Also, I foamed up some of my holes here, and I took the extra foam and just kind of pretended to make insulation there. That's where the shower went out. Threw a little bit in where the water heater vent is. But I'm probably just going to cut some foam pads and stick them in there. So I made this template out of a piece of cardboard and took it out and cut it on my paneling. And voila. Am I happy with it? Yeah. Could it be better? Yeah. I'm not going to zoom in because there's some things I just don't maybe want you to see. But anyway, that wall is pretty much done. And it'll be a miracle if this outlet works. I've never seen this kind of outlet before. It had like clips in the inside of it, and you had to push the wires into these clips. Not like a normal one, but I might have to go buy one of these if this doesn't work. But anyway, the wall is up on that side. So I've done some work in here since my last video, and I can't remember what I recorded last. But anyway, I'll give you an update on what's going on here. So I think the last one I had was I made that template. And so I cut the corners there, all the way down, you know, on my paneling. Got that wall. And I put up this part of the wall. Cut out the window. Actually, I wired this outlet. Wired this outlet. And reconnected my lights here. And everything works. I plugged in my jigsaw into both outlets and I got power. Obviously that's on. Some more lights here. So all my power works. So I'm just going to screw that light to the wall here. Yeah, something like that. And the next step is to finish the paneling on the bottom here. And then I'll tackle this corner here. But everything is coming together. Light is screwed in. And I got the bottom paneling on. And we got the side. Now I'm just debating how if I'm gonna make another bed for over here somehow. If I do, it might have to come off of this wall and fold down. Just because when I put my slide out in, there's not going to be any room for something against this wall. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to put a leg here, brace it, and then we still got to put some flooring down because my floor looks like garbage. Peel and stick flooring is in. I think these little sheets were like 3 feet. And I would start off with a 3-foot piece. Whatever the distance was there to the wall, I would cut that. Then I would start that one here next to the long one. And then go long, short, long, short, long, short. Just to kind of mix up the seams. And it looks like it kind of turned out pretty good. So now my next project is going to be, I'm going to build another bed, and it's going to be a 6-foot bed. It's going to go here, but what's going to happen is it's just going to stand up, and then when I need to, we'll just fold it down and it'll stand right here. I can't put a bed in here because my slide out will come in and run into it. Maybe I'll put a hinge in with a hook, just to maybe to kind of keep it sturdy as I'm traveling down the road. But anyway, that's going to be my next project here. But so far everything is coming together pretty well. We are getting close to being done. So I made my bench slash other bed. I got my frame in, and I got the side on. Probably get 2 storage bins under there. Pans and etc. Plates, forks, things that we're going to need to use to eat. And then I just need to figure out how I'm going to store this up when I'm driving down the road. Probably put some kind of hook system in up top. That's just a minor thing. And I'll show you what it looks like when it is down. Bed is down slash bench. So if I don't have anybody sleeping on it, we can use this as a storage spot. If it's raining outside, we can come and sit down on it easier than it would be to sit down on the beds. And there's still a little bit of room here for you to sit down and have, if you want to eat, tables right here, countertop, plenty of leg room here. It goes down that way. Anyway, I'm kind of happy with that. So anyway, I think I'm pretty much done in here. The only thing I'm going to do now is put some hooks up. Maybe a couple here on this wall. A couple over here on this wall. And just kind of clean some things up in here a little bit. But that's pretty much everything I'm going to do. It turned out pretty good. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I still have to coat the roof of my trailer and try to see if I can't clog some of the spots where it was leaking. But I have an idea for up here after I do all that. The next time I show you this will be completed.
All right, out with the old and in with the new. It'll be interesting to see what the project looks like when we get up to Thief Lake. If you'd like to see the end of the project and some good hunting up in northern Minnesota, stay tuned to Team Johnson Outdoors. As always, thanks for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.